Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. Fort McMurray, Alberta, is commemorating the 10th anniversary of the devastating The Beast wildfire, an event that profoundly reshaped Canada's approach to disaster management, as reported by City News Everywhere. In May 2016, a massive inferno, fueled by dry conditions and shifting winds, forced the evacuation of over 80,000 residents, the largest in Canadian history, and incinerated approximately 15% of the city. The disaster, which caused $4 billion in insured damages, spurred an unprecedented Red Cross fundraising effort and inspired the Fort MacStrong movement for rebuilding. A decade on, the fire's legacy includes enhanced forest management, earlier wildfire crew training, and improved public communication strategies by Alberta Wildfire. While residents still grapple with long-term trauma, the community demonstrates remarkable resilience, even assisting stranded drivers during a recent snowstorm. Plans for an alternative evacuation highway are underway, and the region saw its first population increase in a decade in 2025, signifying hope and recovery. Global News reports that Canada's Senate is experiencing a rising number of vacancies, causing concern among some senators. There are currently 9 empty seats, and an additional 6 senators are slated to retire by the end of 2026. Prime Minister Mark Carney has not appointed any new senators since assuming office last spring. The Independent Advisory Board for Senate appointments also has 24 vacancies, and is not currently accepting new applications. Non-affiliated Senator Marilu McPhedran expressed fears that this trend signifies the end of an era for merit-based appointments, suggesting a shift back towards cronyism and patronage. Senator Bernadette Clement echoed these concerns, highlighting the loss of diverse regional and racial perspectives and worrying that Senate appointments are being deprioritized amidst a focus on economic issues. Both senators are seeking clarity on the future appointment process. A man has been arrested in Toronto's Regent Park neighborhood after an incident late Saturday night where he allegedly ran around with a knife and stabbed someone. According to Toronto police, the event occurred shortly after 11 p.m. in the area of Dundas Street East and Sumat Street. Officials stated in a social media post that the suspect approached and stabbed the victim. Police have indicated to CTV News that this appeared to be a random attack, and it is currently unclear whether the victim and suspect were known to each other. The victim was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities are urging anyone with information regarding the incident to contact them at 4-2016 88 22222. City News Everywhere reports from Ottawa that a nonprofit organization and 2 unions are expressing significant concern over the federal government's proposed amendments to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency Act and the Pest Control Products Act. The government's spring economic update outlined plans to incorporate consideration of food security and cost of food into these laws. However, Mary Lou McDonald, president of Safe Food Matters, fears these changes will prioritize trade over the health of Canadians, potentially leading to increased levels of pesticides like glyphosate in imported foods, which she claims Canadians have rejected. Similarly, Milton Dyke of the Agriculture Union and Sean O'Reilly of the Professional Institute of the Public Service of Canada worry about the weakening of consumer protections. They also highlight the irony of proposed changes aiming for food security while the Canadian Food Inspection Agency faces over 500 job cuts, raising concerns about staffing shortages and declining oversight. The government states it remains committed to health and environmental safeguards, with further legislative details forthcoming. Global News revisits the era when organized crime dominated the lucrative jukebox business. Starting in the late 1920s, these coin-operated music machines, initially popular in juke joints, became a major cash cow, with operators like Meyer Lansky and Chicago's The Outfit controlling vast networks. Gangsters employ tactics ranging from demanding kickbacks from record labels and proprietors to violent extortion using baseball bats and acid attacks against those who refused to cooperate. They even produced counterfeit records to maximize profits. At its peak in the 1940s and 50s, jukeboxes accounted for 75% of U.S. record production. However, the rise of transistor radios in the 1950s offered teenagers free music, eroding jukebox revenues and causing the mob to shift to other illicit ventures by the 1970s. This fascinating history highlights how a seemingly innocent form of entertainment was deeply intertwined with criminal enterprises. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.